Today I'll be reviewing Darkwing Duck number 1 by Dynamite Comics. This is issue 1 of a 6-part series, but depending on how well the sales do, it may become an ongoing. So far, the sales have been remarkably high, but we'll see how things go. The story was written by Amanda Dibert, and interior art was done by Carlo Loro, with this being the standard cover, which was done by David Nakayama. To give a brief overview of the story, the city of St. Canard is dedicating a statue to Darkwing. Megavolt, a classic Darkwing Duck villain, attacks. It's up to him, Launchpad, Goslin, and Honker to save the day. That's just a brief overview of the story. The comic has a decent foundation, and someone who's not familiar with Darkwing will get some enjoyment out of it. The more about Darkwing you know, the less enjoyment you'll get. If you're a Darkwing Duck fan, you'll recognize a lot of the poses being copied from Darkwing merchandise, as well as also the previous Darkwing Duck comics done by Boom Studios and Joe Books. A newbie wouldn't notice it, but someone who's been a fan for a long time, like me, noticed it immediately, and it was incredibly distracting. And for the story itself, the main villain Megavolt shows up, attacks, and then leaves and just drops out of the story at the end. As I was reading it, I got the sense that this story was not fully finished. There's also a strange thing of the onomatopoeias. If you look carefully, you'll see that instead of just making sound effects, there'll be words mixed in with the sound effects. I'm guessing to try to be funny, but it ends up just being strange. For most of the characters, as I was reading, I could hear the voice actors in my head, but there were other characters who I couldn't picture the actors saying these lines. It is nice that characters like Zan Allison, who debuted in DuckTales 2017, while it does have some good parts, there are some good jokes, and it is nice to see the Darkwing Duck gang back in comic form again. This comic was a real mixed bag. Dynamite's going to have to do a much better job in the upcoming issues if they want to keep this series going. Because I can see a lot of people dropping out after issue 3 or 4 if the comic continues on this trajectory. If you're not a Darkwing fan, you might get some enjoyment out of it. But if you are a Darkwing fan, I wouldn't pay more than a couple dollars for it. The main reason why this comic has sold so many issues so far is because of Dynamite Comics' business practice. As of this review, there are over 70 variant covers. On this current trajectory, by end of issue 6, there could be 500 covers. And most of the covers are people doing dark and gritty interpretations. A lot of Darkwing fans were disappointed that James Silvani and Aaron Sparrow weren't brought back, and a lot of people are going to be comparing the Joe Books and Boom Studios runs. There is a lot of room for improvement, and there could be something good down the line, but for right now, this comic will get a very light recommendation. Till next time, see ya.